Welcome into Outkick the Show. I am your fearless leader, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having fantastic Fridays wherever you may find yourself across this great land and beyond. About to get on the great show, Lock It In, on FS1 here in about 45 minutes. I am right now leading as we go into the weekend. I've got a lot of good picks for you. I'm going to get to those momentarily, but first I want to tell you, go to sportsbookreview.com right now. Go there as you get ready for college football and NFL gambling. Yes, I said the wrong team. I meant to fix it. It's Bama LSU. Obviously, I know the answer. Thank you for letting me know. I am telling you right now, I was laughing about the joke about Donald Trump. I'm telling you right now that we have got a lot to get to. And hopefully we will be able to make you a lot of money. But the best place to go is Sportsbook Review. Be glad that you went to Sportsbook Review, and you will get hooked up with the best possible lines wherever you may go across the entire gambling landscape. All right, couple of things here. I have two great bets on Bama LSU this weekend. Okay? Two great bets on Bama LSU this weekend that I love that I'm about to give out on Lock It In. You guys get an early preview. Bama so far in the first half has been 8-0 against the number in the first half line. Right now the line on the first half is 7.5. Bama is a 7.5 point favorite. I am buying it down to 6.5, and I am putting a lot of money on Bama minus 6.5 in the first half of this game. So far, Bama has been up by at least 18 in every first half line. You know that barring injury, you're going to get a full half of Tua. You're not going to get a single Jalen Hurts snap. I have gotten burned a few times on late Bama scores that they've given up, in particular in the Arkansas game, where otherwise it happened in, I think, the Louisiana-Lafayette game. Otherwise, it is incredibly easy to get burned on this, okay? Plus, LSU is without their star linebacker. I tend to think that gets overrated and that the backup is not going to be that much different. It's not like they're out of quarterback, but I tend to think that it is going to be a bloodbath for LSU, but you can protect yourself by doing these two things. I bought Bama down to 6.5. I'm also buying Bama down for the full game unless it drops back down. I bet it early this week. I gave it to you already. It came back down to 13.5. But then the number has ticked back up. Right now it's around 14.5. It's got as high as 15. I'm afraid it's not going to come back down underneath 14 on game day. So in the next 24 hours, why not buy it down to Bama 13.5? And that way you're protected in the event you win by 14, okay? So that is a play that I really like. That is two of the plays that I'm going to give out today. I gave you this already, but some of you don't pay attention. You have bad memories. Tap the veins, boys and girls. The blood bank guarantee. The blood bank guarantee, boys and girls, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is the over in Wake Forest going up against Syracuse. Our old buddy Dino Babers is going on the road. The blood bank guarantee is Syracuse going against Wake Forest, the over in that game. I gave it out early this week. It was 75. I think it's up to 77 now. I'm telling you right now, make a play. And by the way, if you are a gambling guy, and you think you are being so smart in the commentary that you are making about gambling, I'm doing better than you are gambling. All right? We're at 56% on our college football picks all season. I don't need your gambling tutelage. I don't need your gambling picks. I wipe you out, and you are no longer able to comment on this show. All right? If you have simply blindly played my gambling picks, if you have simply not even looked at anything other than my gambling picks and played them, this year in gambling, you are up 40% on the year. Everybody gets excited when the stock market is up 10%. This year, my college football gambling picks are up 40%. If you have merely what a cunt that guy is. He's gone. If you have merely bet on my gambling picks, you are now up 40% on the year. Okay? That's all you had to do. You had to hear my picks, not even know anything else about college football at all, and you are up 40% on the year. A great year in the stock market, you make 10%. We have got you up 40%. I hope all of you are enjoying it. That's what happens when you don't respect the picks. Clay Kyle comes in, and he rarely misses. Now, to be fair, sometimes I miss. Sometimes I hit the wrong person. And if I ever do block you on the Periscope and you are losing and you accidentally got sniped, you can reach out to me on Twitter and let me know, hey, you sniped me. I've freed many people from the oblivion that is permanent blockage because sometimes Clay Kyle actually hits friendly fire here. So sometimes that does happen, and I try to make up for my errors. By the way, speaking of errors, if you've got a lot of credit card debt, let's say you haven't made 40% just blindly playing all my college football picks through 10 weeks of the season so far. Let's say you haven't made the smart decision to sign up for Outkick VIP in time for Christmas and get an autographed copy of my book as part of the Outkick VIP phenomenon as well. Let's say you haven't been intelligent enough to do that and you have a great deal of debt. Do you know how I can help you? I will tell you. If you go to thehomeloanexpert.com, if you go to thehomeloanexpert.com and you wipe out all of your credit card debt and get a new home refi, a purchase mortgage refi, you will be putting your financial house in order. Did you know it's only 20 days right now until Thanksgiving? And once Thanksgiving is here, that means it's 21 days until Black Friday. No, it's not a racist day. It's the day where all of the retailers start to get into the black and make money, and your credit card bill starts to skyrocket because suddenly your wife, your girlfriend, whoever you're responsible for is out there spending a lot more money on presents. Everybody's credit card bill goes up during the holidays. You got a bunch of different dinners to go to. You got a bunch of different obligations. Get hooked up now at thehomeloanexpert.com. You Kentucky fans, when I happen to glance over, it's like maybe I shouldn't feel bad for you. It's as if you've never had a good defensive player before. Everybody else in college football has had a good defensive player before. Josh Allen is merely a good defensive player. He would have been a fourth-round pick. Maybe he's going to go in the first round now. Every other SEC team, just about, that is any good at all, has multiple first-round guys on their defense. They might be different years, but if you guys, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe you guys have legitimately never had an actual good defensive player before, but you would think Josh Allen is the greatest player in the history of the SEC. Kentucky fans for Josh Allen are starting to sound like Georgia fans do when they talk about Herschel Walker. It's just one guy. He's a good player. He ain't that important overall, and he ain't going to matter that much when Georgia comes into town and whips all you Wildcat asses, okay? That is what is going to happen. Georgia is going to obliterate Kentucky. My other big pick, Georgia over Kentucky. This line is trending, I think, right around 8.5. It's not going to be close. It's going to remind me a little bit of what happened in Georgia a few years ago. Do you remember when everybody got really excited at Georgia? They were number one in the country, and Alabama and Nick Saban were coming to town, and the strength coach, Scott Cochran, was walking around, and he said, you know what? They're going to black it out. Do you know why they're wearing black? Because they're going to a goddamn funeral. That's what Scott Cochran said. And you know what happened? Alabama came out and got up 35-0. And it was never close, and that was kind of the end of Mark Richt at Georgia. That was the year they had Matthew Stafford, no Sean Marino. Everybody was all excited about how good Georgia was going to be. Was A.J. Green on that team too? I can't even remember. It was an incredibly talented Georgia team. And you know what happened? That was the beginning of Alabama. I feel like that's what's going to happen in Kentucky. All these Wildcat fans are going to be so excited. We're going to win the SEC East. This is going to be incredible. You know what's going to happen instead? You're going to get your ass beat by Georgia. And then next week, you're going to go to Neyland Stadium, and you're going to lose to Tennessee, and everybody's going to be sitting around saying, what happened to our Magic season? What happened to the unbelievable ride, the magic carpet ride that we were on? Why did everything get pulled out from under us? Georgia is much better than you are. Georgia has a much better quarterback than you do. Georgia has at least as good of a running back as you do. In fact, I'm not sure that Kentucky has better talent at any position than Georgia does right now, which is why the Bulldogs are going to run into Lexington, and they are going to win by double digits. That's what's going to happen in this game, Georgia and Kentucky. I already put down my parlay bet, my parlay for the week. The only big parlay that I have played, I'm playing Bama and I'm playing Georgia. And those two teams are going to win big. They're both going to win by double digits on the road in the SEC CBS game of the week. Now, let me go ahead and run through all my gambling picks for you quickly here so you are all ready, okay? This is what you guys should be playing. Again, we are up 40% on the year. 40% you are up if you had blindly played my gambling picks through 10 weeks. We are actually 3-0 this week, and I'm not even counting 2 of those picks because I didn't give them out on my website. We won Buffalo. We won Toledo. And now we won Central Florida. Central Florida was a little bit lucky. Got a late field goal there. And so we've been 3-0 already this week, and I'm only counting the Central Florida game. So I gave you out 12 picks. One of them has already won. There are now 11 remaining. Here they are. Syracuse at Wake Forest and tap the vein, the over. Okay? Syracuse at Wake Forest and the over. Georgia at Kentucky. I'm on Georgia, as I already said. Yes, it is. All right? Yes, it is. All right, stop. Some of you are so dumb you can't do basic math. 56% winners is up right at 40% on the year. All right? If you are not smart enough to understand how math works, then kindly no longer comment. I saw somebody over there in the comments not understanding basic math. Do research elsewhere, and you can confirm exactly what I am saying. Okay? If I see somebody making a stupid comment like that again, and Math Guy tries to come in here and argue with me about the math, then I will murder you and you will no longer be able to come in here. One of the big problems that exist, and this is starting to slowly drive me insane, is some of you are so fucking stupid, you don't even know how stupid you are. And sometimes I get into arguments. I don't hardly respond to people on social media very much anymore because, 1, I don't have time. But 2, my intellect is so much higher than the average person that some of you are so dumb that even when you are being owned and explained why you are wrong, you literally are not smart enough to understand how much you are getting owned. I am in the 99.99 percentile in intellect, all right? You may disagree with my opinions. It is very wrong, very infrequent, that I am wrong on something. Factually wrong. Now, you can regularly disagree with my opinion, right? You can regularly disagree with the conclusions that I draw. There is almost no one in this country who is going to be able to regularly point out factual errors in my opinions, right? So, I got to tell you this right now. You are welcome to disagree with the conclusion. For instance, when I say I think Alabama is going to blow out LSU, you can certainly point out that you disagree and you think LSU is going to win. When I say that Georgia is going to blow out Kentucky, you can certainly step forward and say, you know what, I disagree, and you can make arguments for why you disagree with what I'm saying. But what you cannot do, almost to a man, is point out a factual error. And what I find to be troubling, and this is the Dunning-Kruger effect in effect, the dumbest people on the planet are so dumb that they don't even understand how dumb they are. And it's the equivalent of me trying to step forward and play one-on-one basketball against LeBron James. Everybody would be able to see that LeBron James is better than me. Some of you are so dumb that my intellect is flying right over the top of your head and you are so insanely stupid that you're not even aware that you are being filleted and served up and dunked on so hard with balls to the face that you can't even contemplate what is going on. Part of this is because the dumbest people don't even understand the difference between the fact and an opinion, right? This is a big problem that exists in our country today. A lot of people out here don't understand the difference between a fact and an opinion. A fact is something that is indisputably true. For instance, I am 6 foot tall and I weigh 180 pounds today. That is a fact. It can be your opinion that I am short. It can be your opinion that I am fat or skinny. That's your opinion. The factual basis of how tall I am and what I weigh is nothing, right? We have in this country an inability to understand the difference between a fact and an opinion. My opinion is what is going to happen in these games. A fact is what the final score is. The inability to distinguish between facts and opinion is a major issue that exists in this country today. So, my word of advice, if you are trying to correct someone for a factual statement, make certain that you are not trying to correct someone who is infinitely more intelligent than you are, because the odds of me being factually wrong are low. If I am factually wrong, I try and immediately correct it. That matters to me. If you listen to my radio show, if you watch this show, if you read my books or my columns, if I get a fact wrong, I try and correct it. I try and come on and say, you know what, I said X, and the actual fact is Y, and so it changes my opinion of what the conclusion should be. So, again, the difference between a fact and an opinion is important, and if you don't know the difference between facts and opinions, it probably means you're not smart enough to actually go toe-to-toe and disagree with what I am saying. Okay? That is my PSA for the day. And if you think that you are making a correction factually, provide evidence that it actually exists. Find something that's out there that is evidence. Be like, hey, Clay, you said that in 2004 this happened. It was actually 2006. Here's a link. That's helpful. Because my goal, I appreciate people who are trying to correct things. My goal is to get things right. Okay? That is my goal. And if I don't get it right, then I'm happy to have it pointed out to me. But when you are so fucking stupid that I happen to glance over and you are taking issue with something that is indisputably true, I'm going to light you up. I typed Ole Miss on the Periscope because I was laughing at the joke. Yes. And then I came on and the first thing I said was, I meant LSU. So, that was an error, which I immediately corrected. Got that? Everybody understand? All right. Now I can make you more money. It's important to point out how to make you money. Georgia is going to blow out Kentucky. Memphis is going to blow out ECU. Oklahoma, Texas Tech, the over is going to hit with ease. Notre Dame at Northwestern, the over is going to maybe be in play, but the play really is Northwestern. I think there's actually a pretty good chance that Northwestern wins this game outright. I think there is a pretty good chance that Northwestern wins this game outright. Texas A&M at Auburn, the under is the play beyond a shadow of a doubt. Charlotte at Tennessee. I'm not betting on Tennessee to cover 21 against anybody right now. I'm taking Charlotte plus 21. South Carolina at Ole Miss, the over. Alabama at LSU. I already told you what I did. I said, right now, tap the veins. I said, Alabama, I played the first half line. I bet it down to 6.5 so I could protect myself in the event Alabama's only up 7. And I'm playing the game line. I already bet 13.5, but I like 13.5 more than I do 14.5. So make a play there. 11 picks. I just ran through all of them. Now, let's talk about last night. Somebody is obsessed with me having a pick on Penn State. I don't have a pick on Michigan. There's somebody out there who's like, if I don't give you a pick, it means that I don't have a pick. I can't believe I have to explain this to some of you knuckleheads out there. The picks go up Wednesday. If they're not included in the picks and I don't tweet it out, then I don't have a pick on the game. Why is this difficult to understand? I've only been doing this for 6 goddamn years. Every week, all college football season, I give you the picks, and then I tell you what I'm betting. If you're not included in the picks, then I don't have a pick. Don't ask me about games that aren't included in the picks. How do you people not get this? The stupidity is driving me slowly insane. Respect the picks. Also understand that if they're not included, they're not in the picks. I'm not holding out on you. I don't have some secret stash of 15 picks that if you hit the magic wand, this is not Contra. If you hit a bunch of different keys on your control pad, you don't suddenly unlock a magic new set of picks. I'm telling you the exact games that I bet on. If those games are not included, then I don't feel good about betting them. This ain't hard. This ain't complicated. I don't only pick games based on whether it's a good game either. There are lots of good games I don't pick because I don't think or feel very strongly about one side or the other. My God. Sometimes I have to come out and I have to regulate. I have to just come in and I just have to, it's like a teacher who suddenly comes in and just like, you stupid idiots. I am tired of having to teach you the same thing over and over again. It's like I tell my kids, Dad doesn't like to get mad. Dad doesn't like to raise his voice. Dad doesn't like to take away the iPad or the Xbox or tell you that you can't play Madden. But if you do things that make Dad do it, Dad, not a complete pushover. There are consequences for actions. Stupidity eventually extracts a toll. So, I'm telling you right now, this is a no-brainer, kids. And I am telling you, all right, this guy, if you were smart, you'd ignore the 97%. No, I disagree. I think that smart people need to call out stupid people for being fucking stupid sometimes. I think it's important for people who are in the 99.99 percentile like me to sometimes just say, fuck it, I'm tired of stupid people, I'm going to tee off on you. Because we live in this society now where everybody walks around all day clapping and awarding and giving participation trophies and saying, oh, isn't it grand how everybody's all the same and equal. No, it's not true. Some people are dumb. And they're dumb, and only by being called on being dumb does a dumb person ever have to deal with the fact that they are dumb. Like, I think it's important for a dumb person to understand that they are dumb and that they should spend more time trying to use their limited brain power to increase their overall intelligence. I ain't a trophy kind of guy. You want participation trophies, you go watch ESPN. You want the truth? You want people to get lit up when they're stupid? You watch me. Which is why I think the Oakland Raiders are being incredibly stupid. You guys know this. On this show for a long time, I argued that John Gruden would be a great college football coach. And I'm telling you right now, I believe that John Gruden would be a really good college football coach because a big part of college football success is being a big, swaggering helicopter dick. It's walking into living rooms and convincing people that they should come play for you. And what sells there is, I'm going to be honest with you, alpha male confidence. Nobody in college, by and large, wants to go play for a mosquito dick, right? That's the truth. What sells in living rooms is helicopter dicks, all right? I thought that John Gruden would be great for that reason in college football because I thought he could recruit his balls off. I thought he would be bringing in 5 stars like crazy. I thought that in the living room he would be almost undefeated. Doesn't work the same in the NFL. What matters in the NFL is your ability to get a bunch of guys who are all alphas and who all make a ton of money to follow you and believe in your game plan. A lot of times, your overall comportment doesn't matter at all. Think about it. Bill Belichick is the least charismatic man on the planet, but he is a genius when it comes to diagnosing and diagramming football plays that work. And as a result, his team will follow him. John Gruden has been an unmitigated disaster so far for the Oakland Raiders. They still owe him $95 million. I bet on the Raiders last night. Before the line shifted all in my favor, I told you guys to take the Raiders at plus 2.5 or 3. The line ended up Raiders -3, and then the Raiders went out, and they did not play at all. They didn't play at all for John Gruden because they don't respect him. John Gruden didn't take over a disaster. All the John Gruden sunshine pumpers out there are like, well, we're going to have 3 draft picks in the first round. We are going to be able to go remake the roster. All of these arguments. That's fine. The problem is John Gruden came into a team that 2 years ago was set to be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC playoffs. And then Derek Carr broke his leg and everything fell apart. And everything continues to fall apart for the Raiders. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. $95 million they still owe him, and the team 100% quit on him. They went out there and they quit. That's the simple truth. There wasn't a lot of wrinkle there. There wasn't a lot of excitement. That was a beatdown being delivered by, I had to write this guy's name down because I was afraid I would forget it, Nick Mullens. And I got to say this, I loved everything about that Nick Mullens interview with Aaron Andrews after the game because to me it represented the following. This kid grew up in Birmingham, Alabama, doubtless was dreaming of playing for Alabama or playing for Auburn for years, certainly wanted to play in the SEC. Did not get any offers to play there, despite the fact that he grew up in Hoover, Alabama, which is right in the backyard of both of those places, right in the central part of the SEC heartbeat. He had to go down to Southern Miss. Went to Southern Miss, had a great deal of success, did not get drafted. Had to go to make the 49ers as an undrafted free agent. Doesn't get any opportunities, sees Jimmy Garoppolo sign a $137 million contract. Sits behind C.J. Beathard. And then C.J. Beathard gets injured. He gets to come in and he throws 3 touchdown passes and wins a Thursday night football game. Who knows what will happen in the rest of that guy's life? He's still young. He's early in his NFL career. But for the rest of his life, he is going to be able to talk about the fact that in an NFL football game, he went out and he played and he won as a starter in the NFL. That guy is a success going forward for the rest of his life. I guarantee you it would have been easy for him to quit. I guarantee you there were times where he questioned why he didn't quit. I'm telling you right now that there were lots of times when many of you out there who will end up tremendous successes will also face that same difficulty in life, where people don't believe in you, where you believe that you are worth more than what you are receiving to do your work. The important lesson from sports, which hopefully many of you will carry long after your sports career ends, is that ultimately you have to rely on only one person, yourself. You are responsible for your success or failure. Not your race, not your gender, not your state, not your parents, no one else. No one else determines whether or not you succeed or fail. I love sports for that reason. You are the captain of your own ship. You are the master of your domain. As you go into this weekend, if you remember nothing else from today's show and you remember nothing else that you have ever heard me say before, know this. Only you control whether or not you succeed. Period. Don't allow anybody else to tell you anything else. The only hand you can rely on is the one at the end of your sleeve. I'm telling you now, it's true. It remains true. It will always be eternally true. If you make excuses, you will fail. If you look for reasons why you will not succeed, guess what? You won't. That is my lesson for the weekend. Kisses, DBAP boys and girls. I am Clay Travis. This is Outkick the Show. Download the podcast. Have some fun. Watch me in about 23 minutes on FS1, where I will be making everybody gobs and gobs of money. This is Outkick the Show. My name is Clay Travis. Thank you for spending your Friday afternoon with me. Let's get rich on the gambling picks tomorrow, kids. 11 of them. We're going 11-0. Tap the vein, boys and girls. DBAP, unless, and sometimes it is important to, SBAP. I'll see y'all. Love you.